This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
So,
well, you hook up with him again, February of 2003. It's the 33rd weekly pay-per-view. It's your very first singles match together. You're going to successfully defend the NWA title. You guys are in the main event. You give him the stroke off the middle rope. Meltzer gave it 3 3/4 of a star. 16 minutes and 4 seconds. But of course, you hit with everything under the sun, a kick out of all of it, including a knuck shot from Larry Zbyszko, the Styles Clash, the H-bomb by the Harris twins. Of course, we can't keep a good man down. The NWA World Title shot. That's a big deal for AJ. It does show that he's more than quote unquote just X Division, and he's in there with you. What was your takeaway? You've been in there with all the greats.
He's fantastic. I mean, just that it kind of, when I look back on this, I'm thinking that my recollection was, well, it took us a bit to get him over into the NWA title picture. Damn, didn't take us that long, under a year.
Yeah.
That was like kind of jumped off the page. Under a year, he was lining up to be a Grand Slam champion already.
Well, let's talk about it, because we mentioned, in June of 2002 is when this whole thing started. Well, June 11th, 2003, episode 49, AJ is going to beat you and Raven in a 3-way dance, but he's the champ. So he's going to become the NWA World Champ June 11th, 2003. I mean, right at a year after you started this thing. But Meltzer's critical. He says the booking is killing the company, but that's been the case on and off since the inception. The whole show was geared around getting Vince Russo over as the top heel, to the point that Glenn Gilberti tried to turn face, but the people shit all over him, talking about insider stuff like Judy Bagwell and David Arquette's title reigns. Russo hit Jarrett with a guitar, so Styles won the belt in 13:59 of a 3-way involving Raven. Raven was taken out of the match when Shane Douglas debuted and attacked him and threw him out of the building. Douglas has lost a bunch of weight since the WWA tour less than 3 weeks earlier. It wasn't so much training, more so that he got ill, but it actually looked to be in better shape without the weight. Raven was never acknowledged again, even though the match went several more minutes. Russo's idea was for Sabu to be in that role, but Jarrett nixed it, saying Sabu would burn the company 3 times already, and they didn't want to start a program having to rely on him. Raven and Russo are still trying to get Sabu in. So much for Russo's complaints about all the tragedies in wrestling and putting his money where his mouth is. Jarrett was cut a little from the guitar shot, and the crowd popped huge as they badly wanted Jarrett to lose, even though the idea was for Jarrett to be the face. To get that over, Styles had to work down from a challenge for a rematch, and Jarrett picked Sting to be his partner for the anniversary show. Instead of putting over Styles at the finish, it was clear the announcers were instructed to put over Russo, and Russo was the one celebrating with the belt. Of course, last week in the title match, Russo did the same swerve, helping Jeff Jarrett beat Gilberti. This made the 3rd straight wrestling pay-per-view show, 2 TNAs and a WWA show, involving Jarrett's with the belt and the exact same finish. The last few minutes of the match, with Styles being all kinds of cool moves, which was very good, but most of the rest of the show was bad. So a lot of overbooking and maybe even overbooking discussion here. Sabu burning the company a few times. I think other people have said they had similar circumstances back then. Even if you do love the performer and what you get when you get him there, it's hard to have that consumer confidence if you can't deliver, right, Jeff?
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times, not just Sabu, but Russo would really get tunnel vision on a certain talent, and I would say, can you guarantee me he'll be in the building? Like, guarantee me. So much so that if he doesn't show, you'll give me your payoff for the night, for the week, because your weekly pay. Well, I'm not saying that. I said, okay, then let's quit having this discussion, because it's my responsibility to the Carters. Yeah. And a lot of times that would negate it. But man, I can remember he was hell bent on getting Sabu, in the story and this and that. And I got it. Me and Sabu, I've always respected the hell out of his aura and his character. And personally, we've been buds, but there was times, look, we all through ups and downs. This was kind of a rough spot for him as far as showing up or getting on a plane to come in. So
Well, he's
But
also hurting really bad. I mean, we should
yeah,
just add some
for sure.
context there.
Without saying,
Yeah,
I think he's lived in pain for 20 something years.
probably more.
Yeah, yeah. But anyhow, the AJ win.
It's tainted a little bit. I mean, yeah, he's the champ, but it's with all this silly storyline shit.
And the episodic nature, we can call it silly. We can go round and round on that. But here's where I was going to go with the Asylum. As you're walking to the ring at the Asylum in Nashville, to the right was a group of regulars called the heel faction, the heel section, that booed the hell out of every babyface, especially me, and cheered all the heels. And they were seen in, 60-70% of TV shots. So it would be oh wow, look at them cheering the baby faces. Cheering the heels and booing the baby faces. So shout out to the old heel section in the Asylum days.
So let's talk about making AJ the champion. I mean, this is a big deal for AJ, but it does feel like the focus isn't really on him. It does feel like the focus is more on Russo here. You would disagree with that?
No, I don't disagree at all. And that was a part of, right or wrong, but the episodic nature of Vince had his heel faction called Sex, Sports, Entertainment, Extreme. And that was the direction it was going. And Russo, especially as a heel in Nashville, was a hell of a heel talker. And AJ was a hell of a worker. And so they were the combination, but it's been done in professional wrestling since the beginning of time. A great manager and a great talker who carried a lot of the heat. Jimmy Hart carried all the heat and never was a wrestler. It's goes without saying that was the formula that we were attempting to use.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.